Podcasts on UNC-TV.org are made possible through the financial contributions of viewers like you, who invite you to join them in supporting UNC-TV.
While there is more interest and demand for fresh, locally grown food, when it comes to connecting farmers and consumers, sometimes forging those relationships can be challenging. Farmhand Foods in Durham developed a business to make it easier to get fresh meats to local markets. In our latest installment of North Carolina Rising, Christine Rogers traveled to Person, Washington, and Beaufort counties to see how the partnership works and how it's helping livestock family farms.
At Rogers Cattle Farm in Roxborough, you won't find animals in confined spaces eating a corn diet like many industrialized cattle farms. Instead, you'll see them grazing in the pasture.
I think people are thinking more about local foods just because they just want to know where their food comes from. They want a connection to the process.
And many consumers don't like the idea of growth hormones and antibiotics used in industrial farm animal production. While it takes only about 8 months for a corn-fed cow to be ready for harvest, pasture-raised beef take about 2 years. Johnny and Sharon Rogers like to farm the old-fashioned way.
It is a high-quality product. We've produced it here from birth to harvest. It really never leaves our hands except for when it goes to the processor.
Growing the cattle is the easy part for the Rogers. What can be a challenge is finding markets for their products. And that's where Farmhand Foods acts as a conduit to forge those relationships.
Farmhand Foods has really been great for us because they have really helped us reach markets with our product that we just really didn't have time to reach. So it allows us to do what we do best, and that's growing high quality beef and lamb in our case, and we count on Farmhand Foods to get that product to the market.
We basically have developed a network of producers, all of whom raise their animals on pasture without the use of antibiotics or added hormones, all vegetarian feed, and they supply us with the animals, and we pay and have them processed, and then we do the legwork to market and distribute the products.
One place where the Rogers Farm product shows up is at the Bull City Burger restaurant in Durham.
The first thing you need to know is we're like a fine dining burger joint. We make everything from scratch. We make the mayonnaise, the mustard, the pickles, the sauerkraut, bake the buns twice a day, grind the meat, make our own hot dogs, make our own veggie burgers. I mean, you get the idea. The thing that really sets us apart is working with pasture-raised beef 100%. And that was really important to me. I will close this restaurant before I'll start using conventional beef. And the reason is I think it's a better tasting meat and it's better for us.
At first, Seth thought starting his restaurant would be easy. Find some local cattle farmers and buy cows. But he didn't need the more expensive middle-cut meats like fillets and porterhouse steaks to grind into hamburger. That's where Farmhand Foods was able to step in and help.
The biggest challenge for farmers and for a business like ours that's connecting farmers to local markets is utilizing the whole animal well. So we need to know that we can sell every part of that animal every week in order to be profitable and scale the business.
I know we're very dependent on each other in a very good way. And the farmers as well, I mean, they're calving, counting on me being here in 2 years to buy those cows. So that's a big commitment on their part and mine.
My great-grandfather, my grandfather, and my father was a farmer. And I have been doing it ever since, I reckon I was 4 years old.
Another Farmhand Food partner is Haywood Lee, a fourth-generation hog farmer. He says the partnership with Farmhand has allowed him to stay in business.
Before Farmhand Foods came on board, with the commercial growers and everything, they were pushing the small farmers out, which what I am. And Farmhand Foods came on board, and it gave me a way to keep going. It gives me a good price for my product, and also I feel I'm helping the consumer get a good product.
When it's time for harvest, the animals leave the pasture and eventually end up at a processing facility. Farmhand Foods' relationship with those processors is another important component for making their business model work.
These are all going to Whole Foods' stores up there in Raleigh.
In Beaufort County, Acre Station Meat Farm offers custom butcher service, and with the interest in fresh, locally grown meat growing, it's made a big difference for their business.
Probably 5 years ago, we only had 5 to 10 farmers, and now we're up to 50 to 60 farmers. And that also means that we were able to hire more folks here, where we were at 7 or 8 people here 5 years ago, and now we're up to 20 folks.
We're trying to recreate that local marketplace, recreate the opportunity for farmers to sell their products locally and make a living doing that.
I love working with farmers, and it's true that I really actually long ago was a vegetarian, so my mother's just laughing that I own a meat business. But to me, being able to help North Carolina's pasture-based livestock producers get their products to market, that's what I'm passionate about, is helping fix this broken part of the food economy.
Farmhand Foods is an outgrowth of NC Choices, a Center for Environmental Farming Systems initiative. NC Choices launched in 2003 to help grow market opportunities for the state's pasture-based pork producers.
Podcasts on UNC-TV.org are made possible through the financial contributions of viewers like you, who invite you to join them in supporting UNC-TV.